So a few days ago, the Souls RNG winter event dropped, and it has a few problems, and in this video I want to touch on those problems and how those problems could be fixed for future events. So to get straight into the video, I want to break down the winter event into three main parts. That would be the auras, the gameplay, and the time it took for the update to release. Alright, so first let's talk about the auras. The winter event ended up adding 11 new auras. I'll have those on screen right now. And the first thing you'll notice is that 3 of the auras, they just aren't auras. And out of the other 8 auras, there's only a few ones that I really like. But that's just my opinion, so that doesn't really matter. But I think we can all agree that Abominable is just a permafrost rework, like why is this here? But it's not the auras that really make this update bad, it's the way you get them. So for those of you that don't know, the way that you get these new auras in this update is either you could just do your normal everyday rolling, or you could just spin a wheel and get every new aura. Well, why is this bad, you ask? Because what's the point of grinding for heavenly potions or AFKing for hours for a new global aura in the new update? You could just spin the common wheel and get a global aura instantly. That same aura took you hours of AFKing to get, and then you just got 8 more of them. So basically there's no incentive to grind the winter event, except for one thing that I'll talk about in a minute, which is why this update is bad. If there's no incentive, then why would people want to spend time in the game? So in the future, the way I would change this is to either remove these easy ways to obtain rare auras, or the devs could make there still be an easy way to get auras, except what they do is they make different auras for rolling and different auras for something like the wheels that they added in this update. Anyways, enough of that. Let's move on to the next thing, which would be the gameplay. Now, I've already talked about the wheels, but I'm also going to add that one thing that was good about the wheels was the gears that were added. None of them are really that good, and I'm probably not going to use them at all, but the reason I think this is a good thing is because it gives better gears for newer players, and that's always a good thing for a game to have, because it makes the game more new player friendly, which is always a good thing because it brings in more people to the game. But if we ignore the wheel for the gameplay, since we already talked about that, the other main thing that was added for the gameplay was the Lime questline, which is just not good. Now don't get me wrong, I want the devs to add questlines, and this is a step in the right direction, but what the hell is this? This questline is almost as bad as Darkshader's crafting recipe when Eon 1 dropped, if you remember that at all. Except instead of getting a really good new device, you just get a few decent auras that you'll probably use once when you get them and just never use them again. The thing that makes this questline so bad is the fact that there's a limited amount of the aura Blossom Frozen that people can get, and what this does is it forces people to not leave the game at all because of something called the fear of missing out. Now I understand that the whole point of this questline is just to farm player retention, and it definitely works since the game has been sitting at a consistent 90,000 players for the past week or so. That's what makes this questline so bad. It's just a player retention farm. And aside from that stuff, some auras got some new abilities, and that's always a good thing to see, so that's definitely a W for the devs. Finally, let's talk about how long it took for this update to release. So it took 71 days for this update to drop. And what did we get? 8 auras, a crazy rare new biome, 4 gears, a boring questline that I already talked about, and some potion boxes. Yeah, that's it. 2.5 months for just that. Every time a new update drops, this is always what I think about first. How long did it take the update to drop? So last time when we had the Halloween update drop, I was a lot more satisfied with that because it only took, I think, 3 weeks since Eon 1 dropped. It took 3 weeks, and we got a new update, and it was a pretty good update. The event was fun because you actually had to grind for the ores. They were hard to get. It took me a while to get some of the rare ores, like Nightmare Sky or even Soul Hunter. I didn't get that till like a month after the update dropped. So keeping the auras rare like that was a good thing. But then this update drops, and like I already talked about, I completed the update in 6 days now. It's been 6 days since the update released, and I've finished the quest line. I've gotten all the auras that were added, and yeah, I mean, this is the worst thing to think about every time a new update drops. It always takes these devs months, aside from the Halloween update, to just import a few auras and model some gears. And they have a ton of developers, and they're even hiring new developers. And it still takes months for updates to drop. Like I already said, had this update dropped maybe 2 or 3 weeks after the Halloween update, it would be a lot better, because this update's pretty small and we wouldn't have had to wait a long time for it. But 2.5 months is insane for an update of this size. But anyways, that's enough for me and my thoughts. Feel free to let me know what you think of this update in the comments, because maybe I'm the only one that's disappointed by this update. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Peace.